Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul
They're gonna run out of cheeseheads soon!
The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What is poppin', y'all? It's your man, Cloudboy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly Wednesday Predictions. As always, we are already to pretty much, as I would call it, the halfway point of the season. The trade deadline has officially passed. A lot of crazy trades, a lot of crazy things that have happened. Chase Young going to the 49ers, Montez Sweat going to the Bears, couple other big mid moves, but honestly, not the biggest trade deadline we've seen. This has been a very interesting week for a lot of teams. Things are really starting to shake up a little bit, but I think we're starting to see the cusp of how teams are really doing right now as we officially head into the first week of November. How about it? It's November 1st. Crazy. We had a snowstorm here yesterday, so that was fun. On Halloween, I saw kids outside building a snowman. Weird. But you know what? It's just weird times ahead of us. Teams on bye this week are the Denver Broncos, Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers, and Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you like what you see, comment below, subscribe with your thoughts. And let's get on to the action. So, first off, we have the Tennessee Titans taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett's kind of dealing with some problems. I guess he looks like he's okay, but you know what? Pittsburgh is just one of those teams that you can really just look at and say, are they good or are they not good? At this point, I don't even know what to say about them. I always pick them to win games and they lose games. When I pick them to win games, they lose games. I don't know. When they lose, they win. I don't know. They're like the most unpredictable team in the league. And then you literally got Tennessee finally giving someone else other than Ryan Tannehill a chance to start. Will Levis finally starts this game, and he put on a debut. I think Will Levis is starting again next week. Definitely deserves another chance. I say Tennessee will beat Pittsburgh. Weirdly, I can't believe I'm saying that, but I feel like he might be the real deal. Going on to Sunday, we have a really good matchup. All the way in Frankfurt, Germany, we have the Miami Dolphins taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a very, very good matchup. Tyreek Hill obviously facing his old team. Anytime that matchup happens, I think you're gonna see an offensive showcase. I know Miami was off to this really great start, but we saw the same exact thing last year. As the season went on, they started to not look as good as they did. And they started to lose games, and I think we're going to start to see that again with Miami. Kansas City needs a bounce-back win after that embarrassment in Denver. I say Kansas City wins this game right here. Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Atlanta Falcons. 2 quarterback changes this week. Minnesota. Unfortunate news, Kirk Cousins is out for the year with a torn Achilles. That bites. That honestly, and it's sad because obviously, he is at the end of his contract, so he could obviously not be there. Minnesota is leaning on Jaren Hall to be the guy for the foreseeable future. They did just trade for Josh Dobbs, which is a great move. Honestly, a guy that has starting experience. I'm not going to say he's a great quarterback because, he's just average to me. But I guess they have 2 guys that they can rely on, a rookie and a veteran. We'll see what they do. Atlanta, on the other hand, they decided that Desmond Ridder is not a good quarterback, as I have said multiple thousands of times, and they decided that they're finally starting Taylor Heineke as they should. If I'll be honest with you, I think Atlanta's going to win this game. I don't really trust Jaren Hall. And especially if they don't have Justin Jefferson, it's like, I don't really think Minnesota's going to really have much to gain. I'll say Atlanta wins this game. Next up, Arizona Cardinals at the Cleveland Browns. No words on how Deshaun Watson's doing at this point. I don't even know what to really think about it. Deshaun Watson, I don't even know who. I don't know. I can't really. Cleveland is just kind of in sorts. Their defense is like supposed to be really good, but not. But this is a game that they should win. Now, Arizona, obviously, everything that's going on really depends on something. Kyler Murray is practicing, so he'll be back very soon. And you know what? Maybe they'll win some games with them. I don't know. But it looks like, they're either starting this rookie named Clayton Tune or Kyler Murray. Regardless, I feel like Cleveland's defense will do enough and they'll win this game. Next up, the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Green Bay Packers. The Rams got blown out by the Cowboys, and they're now looking like the team I expected them to look like. The Green Bay Packers, on the other hand, their coaching, their management, everything about their team stinks this year. It's just an absolute disaster. It's clear as day they're rebuilding. But this is a team that we have been dominating the last couple of seasons. We have not lost to the Rams since 2018, which is the last year they ever were good. And on an honest opinion, I mean, as much as I feel like as a Green Bay Packers fan, I kind of want to tank, but personally, I'm like, I feel like they can win games. I feel like they'll win this week. I think the Rams aren't that good. I feel like Green Bay, I think like they'll just move on and they'll get a better game and they'll win this week. Next up, Washington football team at the Patriots. Washington is one of those teams that's in a really good division that is overlooked by any teams. Both times they played the Eagles this season, they actually kept it in close tabs, and the Eagles barely beat them. Washington can really go away with these wins. The Patriots, on the other hand, they're having problems. They want to rebuild, but they know that they're just a mid team. In respect, I think the Patriots win this game. I don't know why, but that's how it is. Next we have Chicago Bears, New Orleans Saints. New Orleans, I talk about mid. I mean, I don't know how you can really go around with having Derek Carr as your quarterback and expect to win the division. That they probably will win the division because of how bad their division is, but honestly, what can you expect? They should win this game, especially if Bajan is starting again at quarterback, and I'm assuming he is. So my assumption is New Orleans should win this game. I don't know how they won't. Next up, Seattle Seahawks at the Baltimore Ravens. Seattle, good promising victory over Cleveland. And the Baltimore Ravens, a very close game against Arizona. But, Arizona's been not that bad. So, you know what? I'm not going to really say anything about that. Between these two, this will be a very interesting battle of the birds here. But I guess if I had to pick, I will say Baltimore gets the victory. Next up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Houston Texans. Tampa Bay started their season out actually very promising. And now they're starting to lose every single game and look terrible. Houston, on the other hand, CJ Stroud hasn't looked bad. But Houston isn't really that good either. But I think Houston needs a rebound win, especially after they lost to Carolina, who was the only team that has not won a game this season. So, out of respect, I'm going to say Houston beats Tampa Bay. I think Tampa is starting to really decline as I thought they would. Next up, we have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Carolina Panthers. Carolina, congrats on your first win. Hopefully that's some motivation to get you guys some more wins, especially since I don't want the Bears to have the number 1 overall pick. But I think Indianapolis is actually doing a promisingly good job, and their offense isn't as bad as I thought, especially losing Richardson for the rest of the season. Gardner Minshew's doing a great job. I'll say Indianapolis wins this. And then we got 2 325 games. First up, New York Giants taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Of course, the Giants, I feel like at this point, their season's already over. I mean, I don't really even care who ends up being a quarterback. If the quarterback can't even throw over 10 passing yards a game, it's pretty positively obvious that the Giants really are going nowhere at this point. The Raiders, have decided to finally fire their head coach. In the meantime, their organization is such a dumpster fire that they're still paying him and the previous head coach that was fired 2 years ago money, because that's what you have to do. Raiders are such in shambles that Davante Adams is literally feels, I just feel bad for him. The Raiders are so bad. I look at this and I'm like, how the heck did we lose? How the heck did the Packers lose to this team? I have no idea. This is just a terrible matchup. Terrible matchup. I guess I'll just go with the Giants. I have no idea who to pick here. Next up, Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles. Oh boy. The big rivalry, the best rivalry in football is the Cowboys and the Eagles. The best rivalry in sports. I feel like you always get these two matchups a year, and you feel like anything can happen with these two teams, Dallas and Philly. I feel you're gonna get a rootin' tootin' shootin' good game. Philly, I feel like, has a really tough schedule. I think they know deep down they need these games more than ever. I feel like you're going to see Philly might lose a lot of games depending on what happens. But if I have to pick between the two, I don't really think Dallas is going to have two back-to-back outstanding performances. I said the Philadelphia Eagles get the job done here this week. And then Sunday Night Football is the Buffalo Bills taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Seems to be in the last couple of seasons, Cincinnati has kind of owned Buffalo. I think we're starting to finally see Joe Burrow really get more confident. And out of that, I think Cincinnati will beat Buffalo. I think Buffalo is so overrated, and that's pretty much all I gotta say. And then Monday Night Football, we have the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the New York Jets. Yet again, I feel like, a team that chokes and a team that just relies on defense to win games, because Zach Wilson sucks and they're still waiting on Aaron Rodgers to magically somehow come back this season after tearing an Achilles. So, out of respect, I will say, if I had to pick, I'm actually going to go with the Jets. I think the Jets will win this one. So if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and we will see you next time.